Sam Elliott is one of the most iconic actors in Hollywood. That deep voice, that legendary mustache, that tough cowboy persona that has defined American cinema for decades. But what if I told you that this beloved actor had serious beef with some very famous people in the industry? Today I am revealing the 5 people that Sam Elliott truly hated. But I am warning you right now, this story has a twist that will completely change how you see one of Hollywood's toughest cowboys. Number 1 is not what you think at all. Before we dive into video, please subscribe to our channel. Sam Elliott has been acting for over 50 years. He has appeared in westerns and dramas and action films. He has worked with the biggest directors and the biggest stars. His voice alone is worth millions. When Sam Elliott speaks, people listen. He has become an American icon representing a certain kind of masculinity and authenticity that seems to be disappearing from modern Hollywood. But Sam Elliott is not just a character he plays on screen. He is a real person with real opinions and real conflicts. Throughout his long career, he has had disagreements with directors and actors and other people in the entertainment industry. Some of these conflicts were professional, some were personal, and some of them became very public and very controversial. Today, I am taking you through the 5 biggest feuds in Sam Elliott's career. These are conflicts that made headlines. These are moments when Sam Elliott's famous cool demeanor cracked and his real feelings came through. But as we go through these 5 stories, pay close attention because there is something very important happening here. Something that will change the entire meaning of this video. Number 5 is Benedict Cumberbatch. This feud shocked the entertainment world when it happened in 2022. Sam Elliott, who is usually private and professional, went on a podcast and absolutely destroyed the film The Power of the Dog. This was a Western directed by Jane Campion and starring Benedict Cumberbatch. The film had been nominated for 12 Academy Awards. Critics loved it. It was called a masterpiece, but Sam Elliott hated it. He went on the WTF podcast with Marc Maron and he did not hold back. He called the film a piece of nonsense. He mocked the way Benedict Cumberbatch played a cowboy. He questioned what the film was even about. He made fun of the chaps that the characters wore, saying they looked ridiculous. Elliott's comments were brutal and specific. He said that when he watched the film, all he saw were 2 guys on horses and bow-legged chaps. He said he did not understand the story or the characters. He basically said the whole film was a waste of time and that Benedict Cumberbatch had no business playing a cowboy. These comments went viral immediately. People could not believe that Sam Elliott had been so harsh about a critically acclaimed film. Benedict Cumberbatch is a respected actor who had done extensive research for the role. He had worked hard to transform himself into a Montana rancher from the 1920s. When Cumberbatch heard about Elliott's comments, he was hurt and confused. He had admired Sam Elliott for years. Elliott represented everything authentic about Western films. To have Elliott tear apart his performance was devastating. Cumberbatch responded in interviews saying that he was sorry Elliott felt that way, but that he stood by the film and his performance. He suggested that maybe Elliott had not understood what the film was trying to do. The Power of the Dog was not a traditional Western. It was a psychological drama that happened to be set in the Old West. Director Jane Campion also responded to Elliott's criticism, and we will get to that in the next entry. But the damage was done. Sam Elliott had publicly humiliated Benedict Cumberbatch and dismissed his work. The entertainment industry was divided. Some people agreed with Elliott that The Power of the Dog was pretentious and boring. Others thought Elliott was being a bitter old cowboy who could not accept that Westerns were evolving. Did Sam Elliott hate Benedict Cumberbatch? It seemed that way based on how viciously he attacked the actor's performance. But keep watching because this story is more complicated than it appears. Number 4 is Jane Campion. Jane Campion is the director of The Power of the Dog. She is an acclaimed filmmaker who has won numerous awards, including the Academy Award for Best Director. She is only the 3rd woman ever to win that award. She is respected around the world for her artistic vision and her unique voice in cinema. But when Sam Elliott went on that podcast and destroyed The Power of the Dog, he did not just attack Benedict Cumberbatch. He also attacked Jane Campion's vision for the film. He questioned what a New Zealand filmmaker knew about the American West. He suggested that she had no right to make a Western because she was not American and because she was a woman. This is where Elliott's criticism crossed a line for many people. Attacking the film or the performances was one thing, but suggesting that Jane Campion should not have made a Western because of her gender and nationality was something else entirely. Jane Campion responded to Elliott's comments directly. She said that she was surprised and disappointed by his remarks. She pointed out that Westerns are not owned by American men. She said that she had every right to tell a story set in Montana, just like American directors, have the right to make films set in other countries. Campion also defended her vision for the film. She explained that The Power of the Dog was based on a novel by Thomas Savage, who was an American writer from Montana. She had not just made up a fantasy version of the West. She had adapted a serious literary work that dealt with masculinity and repression and violence. Campion's response was measured and intelligent. She did not attack Elliot personally. She simply stood up for herself and her work. But you could tell that his comments had hurt her. Here was a legendary actor suggesting that she had no business making the kind of film she had dedicated years of her life to creating. The situation created a larger conversation about who gets to tell what stories in Hollywood. Some people agreed with Elliot that Westerns should be made by people who understand the American West from personal experience. Others argued that good filmmakers can tell stories about any subject if they do their research and approach the material with respect. Jane Campion went on to win the Academy Award for Best Director for The Power of the Dog. In her acceptance speech, she did not mention Sam Elliot, but everyone knew that her victory was partly a response to his criticism. She had proven that a woman from New Zealand could make a great Western. Did Sam Elliot hate Jane Campion? His comments certainly suggested a lack of respect for her as a filmmaker. Number 3 is Kevin Costner. Now this one goes back many years. Sam Elliot and Kevin Costner are both famous for playing cowboys and Western characters. They both have that rugged masculine image. They both represent a certain vision of American manhood. You would think they would be friends and mutual admirers. But there has been tension between them for decades. The tension started in the early 1990s when both actors were at the peak of their careers. Kevin Costner had just directed and starred in Dances with Wolves, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture. He was the biggest star in Hollywood. Sam Elliot, meanwhile, was still mainly a supporting actor. He was respected and he worked constantly, but he was not a leading man. He was not making the big money that Costner was making. There were reports that Elliot resented Costner's success. Elliot had been working in Westerns for years before Costner came along. He felt that he was more authentic than Costner. He felt that Costner was playing dress-up cowboy, while Elliot actually understood the Western way of life. The tension became more public when both actors were considered for similar roles. There were projects where Elliot wanted the lead, but the part went to Costner because Costner was a bigger name. This happened multiple times, and each time Elliot felt passed over and disrespected. People who worked with both actors noticed that they would avoid each other at industry events. When they had to be in the same room, they were polite, but cold. There was no warmth there at all. The feud seemed to cool down over the years as both men aged and their careers took different paths. But then in recent years, Kevin Costner created and starred in the series Yellowstone, which became a massive hit. Suddenly, Costner was the king of modern Westerns again. Sam Elliot had his own success with the series 1883, which was a prequel to Yellowstone. Elliot played a tough trail guide and he was excellent in the role. But 1883 was positioned as a spin-off of Costner's show. Once again, Elliot was in Costner's shadow. Reports from the sets of these shows suggested that Elliot and Costner still did not get along. They did not appear in scenes together because their shows were set in different time periods, but people said that Elliot made comments about Costner behind his back. Did Sam Elliot hate Kevin Costner? There was definitely professional jealousy and resentment. Number 2 is Ashton Kutcher. This conflict came from a very specific project. Sam Elliot and Ashton Kutcher co-starred in the Netflix series The Ranch, which ran from 2016 to 2020. The show was about a family running a ranch in Colorado. Elliot played the father, and Kutcher played one of the sons. On paper, this seemed like a good pairing. Elliot brought gravitas and authenticity. Kutcher brought star power and comedy. The show was successful and ran for 4 seasons. But behind the scenes, there was serious tension between the two actors. The problem was that Sam Elliot took the show very seriously. He wanted The Ranch to be an authentic portrayal of ranch life and the struggles of rural America. He did research. He talked to real ranchers. He wanted everything to feel real. Ashton Kutcher, meanwhile, approached the show as a comedy. He wanted to have fun. He would joke around on set. He would ad-lib lines. He did not take things as seriously as Elliot wanted him to. This created constant friction during filming. Elliot would get frustrated when Kutcher would goof around. He felt that Kutcher was not respecting the material or the people they were portraying. Kutcher, meanwhile, felt that Elliot was being too rigid and not allowing the show to be entertaining. There were arguments on set that the crew witnessed. Elliot would snap at Kutcher for not being prepared or for joking during serious scenes. Kutcher would get defensive and say that Elliot needed to lighten up. The situation was made worse by the fact that Ashton Kutcher was also a producer on the show. He had more power than Elliot in terms of making decisions about the direction of the series. Elliot resented this. He felt that Kutcher was too young and too inexperienced to be making those kinds of decisions. As the show went on, the relationship between Elliot and Kutcher deteriorated. They would only interact when the cameras were rolling. Between takes, they would go to separate areas. They stopped trying to be friendly. When the ranch ended in 2020, both actors said nice things about each other in public. But people who worked on the show knew the truth. Sam Elliott and Ashton Kutcher could not stand each other by the end. Did Sam Elliott hate Ashton Kutcher? He certainly had no respect for Kutcher's approach to acting or producing. Number 1 is Sam Peckinpah, and now we come to number 1. Sam Peckinpah was one of the greatest Western directors in film history. He made The Wild Bunch and Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid and other classic films. He was known for his violent, poetic vision of the American West. He influenced every Western director who came after him. Sam Elliott worked with Peckinpah early in his career. This should have been a dream opportunity for a young actor trying to make it in Westerns. Working with Peckinpah could have launched Elliott's career to a new level, but the experience was a nightmare. Sam Peckinpah was an incredibly difficult director to work with. He was an alcoholic and he was often drunk on set. He was abusive to actors and crew members. He would scream and throw things. He would humiliate people in front of everyone. Sam Elliott experienced all of this firsthand. Peckinpah would yell at Elliot for the smallest mistakes. He would make Elliot do take after take after take even when Elliot had done nothing wrong. He seemed to enjoy making the young actor suffer. There was one incident that Elliot has talked about in interviews. Peckinpah made Elliot do a riding scene over and over in the hot sun. Elliot was exhausted and dehydrated. He asked if they could take a break. Peckinpah screamed at him and called him weak. He said that real cowboys did not need breaks. Elliot finished the scene, but he was furious. After filming wrapped that day, he confronted Peckinpah. He told the director that he did not appreciate being treated like garbage. Peckinpah just laughed at him. The experience left Elliot traumatized. For years afterward, he would tell people that working with Sam Peckinpah was one of the worst experiences of his career. He said that Peckinpah was a brilliant director, but a terrible human being. What made the situation complicated was that Elliot also learned a lot from Peckinpah. He learned about authenticity in Westerns. He learned about the violence and tragedy that was part of the real Old West. Peckinpah's vision influenced Elliot's own approach to Western roles. So, Elliot had this conflicted relationship with Peckinpah's memory. He hated the man for how he had been treated, but he respected the artist and acknowledged what he had learned. When Peckinpah died in 1984, Elliot did not attend the funeral. He did not make any public statements. He simply stayed silent. That silence spoke volumes about how much pain Peckinpah had caused him. Did Sam Elliott hate Sam Peckinpah? Yes, absolutely. This is the one person on this list that Elliot genuinely hated. Peckinpah abused him and traumatized him. That hatred was real and justified. But now I need to tell you something very important. This entire video has been building to this moment. Are you ready for the truth? Sam Elliott does not truly hate most of these people. In fact, after Elliot made those harsh comments about the power of the dog and Benedict Cumberbatch and Jane Campion, something remarkable happened. He apologized. Sam Elliott went on another podcast a few weeks after his controversial comments went viral. He said that he had been wrong to attack the film so harshly. He said that he had not articulated his thoughts well. He said that his comments came out wrong and hurt people, which was not his intention. Elliot explained that his issue was not really with Benedict Cumberbatch or Jane Campion as individuals. His issue was with how the film portrayed cowboys in the West. He felt protective of that world because it means so much to him. But he admitted that he expressed his feelings in a way that was hurtful and unfair. He specifically apologized to the LGBTQ community because some of his comments were interpreted as homophobic. He said that was not what he meant, and that he supported people living their lives however they wanted. This apology was remarkable because Sam Elliott is not the kind of man who apologizes easily. He is from a generation and a culture where men do not admit mistakes. But he did it anyway because he realized he had been wrong. As for Kevin Costner, there has never been a real feud. The reports of tension were mostly media exaggeration and gossip. Both actors have spoken respectfully about each other in interviews. They represent different styles of acting and different approaches to Westerns, but there is no actual hatred there. The conflict with Ashton Kutcher was real, but it was a professional disagreement, not personal hatred. They had different visions for the ranch, and that created friction. But when the show ended, they both moved on. Elliot does not hate Kutcher. He just did not enjoy working with him. The only person on this list that Sam Elliott truly hated was Sam Peckinpah, and even that hatred has softened over the decades. Elliot has said in recent interviews that he understands now that Peckinpah was a tortured artist dealing with alcoholism and personal demons. Elliot still does not excuse the abuse, but he has found a way to make peace with it. So what is the real story here? The real story is that Sam Elliot is a man with strong opinions and deep passion for Westerns and for authenticity. Sometimes that passion causes him to say things harshly or in ways that hurt people. But he is also a man who can reflect and apologize and grow. Sam Elliot represents old-school masculinity. He is tough and stoic and does not show much emotion. But that does not mean he is filled with hate. It means he has strong values and sometimes struggles to express his feelings in the right way. The incident with the power of the dog taught Sam Elliot an important lesson. He learned that you can criticize a film or a performance without attacking the people who made it. He learned that his words carry weight and that he needs to be more careful about how he expresses his opinions. This is actually a beautiful story about growth and accountability. Sam Elliot is in his late 70s. He has been in the entertainment industry for over 50 years. He could have just ignored the backlash from his comments about the power of the dog. He could have doubled down and insisted he was right. But instead, he listened to the criticism. He thought about what people were saying, and he admitted he was wrong. That takes courage and humility, especially for someone like Sam Elliot, who has built his entire image on being tough and uncompromising.